We all know the scene. Our hero wakes up from a coma, wanders outside, and finds the city abandoned. It is eerie, peaceful, and silent. But a real crisis doesn't come with a mute button. If a major event hits, millions will try to flee at the same time. The result is a deafening wave of shattered glass, gunfire, car alarms, and absolute panic. Naturally, everyone's first instinct is to jump in the car and hit the highway. That collective panic creates immediate gridlock. Every exit route turns into a suffocating trap of abandoned vehicles. A systemic collapse follows a predictable, grinding sequence of failures. This timeline maps out exactly how those failures cascade over the first 24 hours of a grid-down scenario. From hour 0 to 6, power fails. Cell towers overload, and Wi-Fi drops. You enter a massive information vacuum while most people remain in a state of denial, expecting the lights to simply flicker back on. During the 6 to 12-hour window, the friction becomes physical. Traffic lights go dark, gas pumps die, and ATMs stop dispensing cash. Everyday life completely halts. Following cinematic survival instincts, grabbing your keys and running for the hills will effectively lock you inside the most densely populated, resource-starved zones on the map. To prepare for these disruptions, standard government advice usually tells you to pack a 72-hour emergency kit. Let's look at this emergency management timeline. By day 3, municipal water pressure drops entirely as electric pumps stop. Without refrigeration, the food in your kitchen begins to spoil. At the same time, the modern retail supply chain snaps. Grocery stores operate on a just-in-time delivery model. When the trucks stop arriving, local shelves empty out almost immediately. Packing supplies for only 3 days guarantees your resources will run dry at the exact moment public desperation reaches a peak. To safely outlast that initial wave of chaos, you need a minimum of 14 days of self-sufficiency. You've seen the apocalypse pantry 1,000 times. A survivor casually strolling into a perfectly preserved supermarket weeks into a crisis, filling a cart with canned goods. In reality, the moment a supply chain disrupts, panic buying takes over. Retail spaces are stripped to the bone within hours. Those empty supermarkets do not stay quiet. They quickly devolve into violent, high-risk battlegrounds over whatever scraps are left. When the food runs out, survivors usually turn to another cinematic strategy, climbing up to a rooftop and lighting a massive signal fire to call for help. A distress signal does not selectively attract rescue crews. You are broadcasting your exact coordinates and the fact that you have resources to every hostile predator in the area. Actively seeking rescue and aggressive scavenging trade your single greatest advantage, your invisibility, for immediate exposure to conflict. That vulnerability often leads survivors to a false hope fortress. It usually starts with a looped one-way radio broadcast offering a heavily armed military sanctuary and maybe even a cure. In a zero-rule environment, a heavily armed faction dictates the rules and controls the food.
Surrendering your weapons and your autonomy to a group that holds all the power results in subjugation. The alternative is the bug-out fantasy. The idea that at the first sign of trouble, you can grab a heavy tactical backpack and escape into the wild. This survival report cautions against that strategy. Fleeing your home without a specific, secured destination turns you into an ill-equipped refugee, exposed to the elements and sheer exhaustion. The pragmatic choice is sheltering in place. Bugging in leverages the structure you already have, providing physical protection, insulation, and the space required to stockpile water and food. Seeking an easy out, whether it is hiking into the mountains or chasing a looped radio broadcast, pulls you out of a defensible position and lures you directly into high-risk environments. A viable mid-tier shelter depends on 3 factors: defensibility, sustainability, and a strictly enforced low profile. Maintaining that low profile comes down to extreme noise discipline. When the grid fails, the constant hum of traffic and electronics vanishes. In that silence, a squeaky door, the clatter of a buckle, or a normal conversation becomes a beacon that carries for miles. This document explains why. A temperature inversion traps air like a lid, bending acoustic waves down to magnify far-off noises. To avoid detection, you must pad floors, limit radio static, and schedule noisy tasks for daytime. Nighttime movement is off the table.
physical survival relies on the tedious, unglamorous daily labor of ensuring no one knows you exist. Fiction insists that the moment the laws disappear, your neighbors will instantly turn into roaming, selfish bands of violent looters. Research shows the opposite. This report on disaster sociology documents catastrophe compassion. Violent crime rates actually decrease after major disasters because survivors rely on one another to form cooperative networks. When survival groups do fail, it is usually because of internal problems. They collapse due to rigid, authoritarian leadership structures that fracture under pressure. Success requires social capital. That means laying the groundwork before a crisis hits, mapping out the medical or repair skills of your neighbors, building trust, and decentralizing leadership so no single person holds all the control. Focusing entirely on tactical weapons while ignoring soft skills like conflict resolution deprives you of the highest value asset in a crisis, a resilient, cooperative community. Let's map these strategies. Reliance on community against survival probability. Scavenging alone plots low on both. Relying on military rescue is high reliance, low survival. However, building a highly integrated local community spikes into the top right. This is the Level 7 Sanctuary. Surviving a collapse involves a complex psychological burden. You'd have to trust the people around you once the legal safety net is gone. The pragmatist survives by trading the tactical backpack for a boring, zero-profile, socially cohesive community. In a total collapse, these small-scale networks are the most resilient path toward outlasting the crisis.